everyone and welcome to a different type of video. Today's video I'm doing a sit down story time. It's something I've wanted to do for a very long time now, and there's so many things I want to talk about and tell you guys about, and I've been wanting to incorporate some story time videos and some different type of videos on this channel. So yeah, I've got a big one for you today, guys. I've got like a juicy story that's slightly creepy, slightly worrying, and just like a hell of a lot of shit, and I'm gonna talk about it. And the reason I haven't mentioned this before is because when I started YouTube, it was when it happened, or it was actually, no, it was like a year into when I started YouTubing. So yes, okay, so backstory, I am a gay man. If you can't tell, I get a lot of people asking that I'm a female. I don't know why. Oh, wait, hold on a minute. I can't start a story time without a candle, let me tell you. So now I've got that ready. So story time, I am a gay male. I am 22 years old, and this story happened when I believe I was 18 or 19. I can't exactly remember. It was a while ago. So back in the day, I just started kind of dating, and I was on Grindr and Tinder and all those kind of apps that you kind of normally go on to kind of start finding some people. I was really liking it. I was really enjoying getting the attention that I'd never experienced, being the, you know, short fat kid in school with loads of hella acne. I never really got that attention ever, and I ended up in a relationship with somebody for the grand total of 2 weeks. Can you believe it? But the funny thing is, I thought my first proper breakup would destroy me, but actually it filled me with a lot of confidence. So I hopped back on the bandwagon, and within 2 days of my breakup, being the 18-year-old I was, managed to get myself another date. Now, this guy who is really the kind of pinnacle, the person in this story, I'm gonna have to give him another name because, yeah, let's call him Trey. Trey was a 26-year-old banker in London, and at first I was like, oh my god, he's really good looking, he's tall, he is a banker in London, he sounds really educated, and I was being this like 19, 18-year-old thinking, wow, like I've hooked myself in like a big one. So me and this Trey were talking for a few weeks, and we decided to meet up in London for the day, and it was around Christmas time, so it was in the middle of winter, and at this point I'd been going up to London a lot for my work anyway, and I thought, okay, cool, let's meet up in London. I know London, it's safe. I mean, guys, just a pre-warning, if you don't know somebody, please don't just go and meet them, okay? It can be dangerous. So we set a date, and I got on a train like I did with my book, and got into London, and met this guy in Paddington. He was really polite. He met me in Paddington, and he was really sweet, and I thought, oh, he's really nice. Now, he had said he'd made plans for the day, and that we would be going on the London Eye for some mulled wine in a pod and mince pies and stuff to go see like the view of London and stuff. I thought, oh, that's so romantic. Like, he's organised it all. He was like so prepared. I thought, okay, this is really cool. Like, this is nice. Like, I'll give him a chance. Now, I didn't get that immediate buzz when I saw him. I thought, oh, he's sweet, but I didn't get that immediate attraction, that lust. So I just thought, okay, I'll go with it, go with the day. Anyway, we ended up going round the London Art Museum, the National Gallery, and that was really fun. And we then went out for lunch, and it was at lunchtime where things started to go downhill. First off, we were eating, and that's fine. Eating's like a normal human thing to do, but he had the food covering his teeth. But he was chatting to me, mouth open, teeth filled with bread. Like, it was just really not attractive. And I thought to myself, this is odd. And then I said to him, when are we going to the London Eye thing? I assumed it was in like the morning or the afternoon, like early afternoon, and by now it's about 12 o'clock at this point when we were having lunch, and he said that it wasn't booked until about 5 to 6 p.m. So we had 5 hours to kill. I thought, okay, what the hell are we gonna do? Like, we've already done the National Gallery, we're going out for lunch. Like, yes, it's London, but when you go there a lot, there's not that much to do without spending a lot of money. So I thought, what the hell are we gonna do? And I thought it was really weird, because from my memory, I'm sure he had told me previously that it was around early afternoon. After we ate, after the whole teeth food incident, we got on the tube, and we were going from wherever we were at this point, which I don't really remember. It was kind of out of the way. It wasn't somewhere I'd been often. We were going back through past Oxford Circus, and it was on the tube where things got really bad. And we were stood on a packed tube. It was midday, and we were going to Oxford Circus, which I feel like is one of the most popular places to get off for tourists. It's always busy. We were stood up real close to each other, and I said to him, oh, like, where are we going? And he said, we're going back to my place. And I said, no, like, why would we, you know, why have we got to go back to your place? And he said, we'll go watch a movie and like chill out and stuff. And I thought, I don't think I would have thought anything of it if he'd mentioned it previously, but the fact that we were on the tube and like going through this popular place thinking we're gonna get off somewhere around there and go do something. No, like I don't feel comfortable with that. Like I was like, no, let's like do something else. And then the bad questions started. We were on a busy tube, there were people surrounding us, and he was literally asking me very sexually explicit questions in front of everyone. And it was the most embarrassing thing I have ever been through. He was asking me if I spat or swallowed. He was asking me what my sexual position preference was, and it was just really awkward. I mean, is there no mystery in the world? Throughout this period when he was asking me questions, at first I started to laugh it off because I was super awkward. I was like, like shut up, But literally people were looking, like there was people right next to us, literally people could hear what he was asking, and it makes me feel uncomfortable thinking about it now. And then he was asking me these questions after telling me we're going back to his place, and I did not feel comfortable with it. And he was so persistent that when I kept like I immediately got a little bit annoyed with him and said, oh, can you stop like being so gross? Like, and he was like, oh, you know, it's only a joke, blah blah, like, and tried to laugh it off. And I thought, what? Like, this is generally not the person who I've just spent the morning with. It was like a change he like changed. I was like, well, we're literally going to his house. What exactly do I do? We're literally on the tube and he said we're going to his house. And I had a bag with me, but it only had a book in. I always carry a backpack with me. Had a book in and like my phone charger, my wallet and stuff. Normally 2 books just in case I refinished one. I said to him, can we stop off at Top Man so I can get some new boxes? Because I thought, I don't know why I said it. I don't exactly know why. Maybe because he was being sexually explicit and I thought that was the direction I should go. I don't know. It came at me. We were coming up, it was like 2 stops away, and he said, yeah, sure. We got off the tube, we started walking to Top Man, but he had hold of my back the whole way. So I'm gonna stand up and show you how he was holding. So I had my backpack on and a jumper, and he was held on to the back of my top like this. Literally a grip, and his hand was underneath my backpack, so not anyone could see. Most people thought he had his hand around my back, but he literally had hold of my jumper, and I thought this was weird. And I remember walking up towards Top Man thinking, looking around me, like my heart was pounding, and I thought to myself, I need to get out of this. Like, I generally do not feel safe right now at all. I was really panicking. I was literally looking around thinking, I could just run. It's really busy. But then I thought to myself, maybe he like, I don't want to run and him catch me. Like, I don't know what would happen. I generally, like, maybe nothing would have happened, but the fact that he had a hold of my jumper, we'd just been having this horrible, awkward situation, and I'd said to him I want to go get boxes. So I stuck with it, and the walk felt like hours, but we got to Top Man, and I said to him, so you stay here, I'm gonna go and look for some boxes. And I went round to the t-shirt section, so I don't know what the fuck he was thinking, because I said I'm going to get boxes, he stood in the boxer aisle, and I tell him to wait there, I'm going to have a look. So I literally just my heart is pounding. Now, if you've ever been to the Oxford Circus Top Man, to go to the Top Man bit, you go up the escalators, and the only down is through stairs at the back, or down the escalators on the same place. And he was waiting about just left of where that was. As soon as I got out of his eye view, as soon as I got out of his presence, I fucking ran. I actually think I went back down the escalators, or down the stairs. I can't remember which ones, but I ran out. I nearly tripped over running out of the store. I most probably looked like I was stealing something. And I just remember running round back streets for like 20 to 30 minutes on the phone to people. I was on the phone to a couple of my friends, and I was so paranoid. I didn't know if anything was gonna happen. I just had this horrible feeling. He wanted me to go back to his place. The only reason we'd come off the tube was for me to get boxes, like, and I just didn't feel like I wanted to be around him at all. I'd never felt that like that ever. And I just didn't want to be around him. So I kept running, and I knew that I'd come across the tube station. I just didn't want to come across the same line as the one on Oxford Circus. By that point, I was already quite confident with the tubes anyway, so I knew if I could just get on any tube, I could find my way back to Paddington, which was where my train was. And I literally ran. I was on the phone, and I got on this tube stop like 20 minutes away from Oxford Circus. And bearing in mind, at that point, I was on the phone, and I had no text or anything like that. And I got on the tube, so my phone obviously had no signal when I'm on the tube. I managed to get back to Paddington, and my heart was pounding. Literally, like, I can't believe I just ran away. The adrenaline kicked in, I was slightly freaked out. My mum was like, get your ass home now. So I get back to Paddington, and as I'm coming up the steps to Paddington, my Wi-Fi, my 3G come back on, and I get a bombardment of texts and messages saying I had missed calls, and then they were from Trey, and he was saying, have you done a runner? I can't, but like literally making me to be like a bad person. I can't believe this has never happened to me. This has never happened to me. I've never been ditched on a day. How could you? I booked this. Like saying all these things to me, and then I started feeling bad. Like, oh my god, like what if I've made this up in my head? But my mum said to me, no, if you feel bad, if you feel awkward, you've got to get yourself out of that situation. And then the last text that came through as I was coming in and putting my card through at Paddington was, I'm at Paddington, from Trey. So he obviously had got on some tube in the time and thought, okay, where's this boy going to Paddington? And he said, I'm at Paddington. I cannot tell you how fast I ran from the ticket bit to the board, and it said boarding train to Reading. I wasn't even boarding back to my own hometown, and I got on the train because I knew if I get to Reading I can get home. And as soon as I got on that train, my heart just was beating fast. I never replied to that boy. I blocked him off everything after that day. I've never talked to him since. He's blocked off everything, but it was the most scariest experience ever, and literally like the worst day, from the gross eating to the inappropriate questions to the going back to his flat. I'm not going back to your flat, no! So I think the moral of this story is you've got to be really careful who you're dating. You feel like you're invincible when you're at that age and think, oh, I can do this. And it's not even anything to do with his age. I just don't even know if anything would have happened, but I felt uncomfortable and I just knew I had to get out of that situation. So that's my bad date experience. I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you, since then I've always been super cautious about going on dates, and well, I've been in a relationship with somebody for 3 years now, which is great, but that experience with Trey has literally put me off everything. It was horrible. I will never, ever do something like that again, I don't think. Especially not somebody I've only been speaking to a week or so. I mean, this is rare, but you know, bad things can happen, and I just didn't feel right. And especially asking me disgusting questions like that on the tube, I thought it was so inappropriate. So yes, I ran away. That's the moral of that story. So I hope you guys liked this story time. I'm definitely gonna be doing more of these in the future. I've got loads and loads of story times that I wanna do. My coming out story, how I dealt with homophobia, loads of different things that I wanna talk about. So if you guys like this, please give this a thumbs up and comment down below if you've ever been in an experience like this, or if you've ever heard of an experience like this before. I'd really be interested to know. And if you're new here, subscribe if you want to see more. I talk about books, and I'm going to be talking about personal things. Yeah, apart from that, I hope you enjoyed. Thanks so much for letting me vent this story to you. I've wanted to talk about it for so long. And apart from that, I'll see you all again very soon for another video. Bye guys!